Keep watching to learn more about what's being done to fight the opioid crisis.
Welcome to the YouTube channel of Michael J. Swanson. Michael is the author of How David Beats Goliath and is the CEO of Advocate Capital. And now, here's Michael.
I've invited experienced plaintiff lawyer Tim Bailey from West Virginia to join us today. Tim, thanks for spending time with us.
Well, happy to be here.
Fantastic. Boy, this has been just a nationwide crisis we've been hearing about. Can you help us understand what's happening with this opioid situation and some of the litigation that's going on?
Well, one of the things it has swept the nation. I think every community in our country can point to major problems they're experiencing because of opioid addiction.
Yeah.
And we really had a situation where they pretty much put heroin on the street in the form of prescription medication. And with marketing and with the profit that they could make, they basically pushed it down the throats of our society. We had some unscrupulous doctors that were making a fortune prescribing it. We had distributors that understood that the amount of medication that they were sending to certain states, that it would, if you looked at the population, that the number of prescriptions or the dosages would be multipliers of the full population in those states.
Is that right? Wow.
It's amazing. Once you get into the documents that are out there and you understand how blatantly obvious it would have been to any company for folks to say that these companies may have had no idea that they were basically in the business of pushing drugs on the streets, it's just it's untrue. When you see the documents, it's amazing.
That's outrageous. So they actually knew they were shipping so many pills into these states that it couldn't possibly be, legit?
Oh, it was easy to track and to understand how many pills were being pushed into these communities. There's a pharmacy in a very small community here in West Virginia. When I say a small community, probably the size of a shopping mall in most major cities. And there was a small pharmacy in that in that little town, and it was one of the top pharmacies in the country as far as the number of these opioid pills that were being pushed out the door.
Outrageous.
Literally thousands and thousands of dosage.
Wow.
It's just amazing.
Wow.
So our communities decided to fight back. I think once they figured out that this was nothing more than drug dealers in suits and ties, they decided to fight back. They decided that they were going to hold them accountable. And so we've been very fortunate here. My firm, the state of West Virginia, has asked my firm to represent its interests in litigation against one of the major distributors of these opioids into our state. Our state is like a lot of other states, especially in that when the economy took a downturn and we have a very blue-collar type of workforce.
Sure.
When those jobs went away, as you can imagine, when there's despair and hopelessness, you not only find an economic downturn, but then you can find folks that seek to self-medicate and to somehow forget their misery.
Yeah.
And so West Virginia was extremely hard hit.
Wow, that's amazing. More examples of corporate wrongdoing and corporations putting profits before people. It's unfortunately not a new trend, generally speaking. So these actions then are being brought against distributors. Hopefully they'll make their way through the courts soon.
There are these cases now. There is a tidal wave of these cases. In addition to states that have filed, now we have counties and cities are bringing cases. So there are literally hundreds and hundreds of these cases are being filed now, and there's actually an MDL, multi-district litigation, now set up for these cases up in Cleveland. So for those that want to track the progress now, that's sort of going to be a huge barometer of what's going to happen in the opioid litigation.
Great. Well, thank you for helping us understanding what's really happening behind the scenes, Tim. And if somebody wanted to reach you, how would they do that?
They can reach out to me. Our firm website's www.baileyjavinscarter.com.
Okay.
They could reach out 800-497-0234.
Excellent. Well, we'll be sure to put that information below this video when we publish it. And thanks again for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Send your questions or comments to Michael at mike@howdavidbeatsgoliath.com.